So before the break, you're just having a conversation with Tash and Hilda around startups and just fundraising, which is very interesting. An interesting, literally, ecosystem. So, Tash, what are the biggest challenges just fundraising on your first round? Where you've already set up your business, you've already proven your model, and you've already created interest in your market. What are some of the considerations, more so from your experience, that an entrepreneur should have when they are trying to raise their first round? How much equity should they give into place? How much should they be looking for? From your experience, how exactly have you gone about it?
Yeah, so how we look at fundraising at our business is you have milestones that you need to achieve, and you know what you need to get to those milestones. So from a financial element especially, but also investors are not just these days not coming in with just capital. They're also coming in with a lot of support in the sense of networks, or helping you go into new markets, like she mentioned. So how we looked at it is we needed to reach a certain number of customers, certain revenue targets, and we're looking at, from a team perspective, from a product perspective, how much money do we need to invest into the business to reach these milestones. So we look at capital coming in as to grow the value of equity that we have by doing things that we wouldn't be able to do if we continue bootstrapping.
Interesting. And for Hilda, I know you've raised several rounds with both local and international investors. And from statistics, it always seems like money has to come from outside. We presume the local investors are quote-unquote real estate investors. How has your experience been fundraising from local investors? How have you gone about it?
Yeah, no, that's for us. That's one of the most refreshing things that has happened in our business is we have local support, and for us, I think we have been lucky and also blessed because being a second-time entrepreneur, I think there's a lot of confidence, and appreciation that you've done this before. So local investors, really because they are risk averse, they definitely want to invest in something that has been proven.
And something they can see.
Exactly, it's something they can see.
Not a building.
So I think for us that is one of the things I would say we've been able to successfully do it just because of that track record. But regardless, it's not also been very easy to get them because where are they? Where do you find them?
Yes.
Where are they sitting somewhere in a building? You can just walk in and ask, here I am with my idea, invest in me. It's very hard to find them. And as you said, because they are mainly investing in things that they can see, like real estate. But things have changed. We've seen the tech ecosystem also evolve and mature. And I think with the success stories we're starting to see, leave alone Wezatele, now we have more. Companies, like MarketForce that are also coming up and showing that they can scale, they can grow, locally built companies. And I think that has also accelerated the appetite for local investors to come out and say, we are here, where are the opportunities? And so with that in mind, it's almost been organic, to really also be at the right place at the right time and find them.
And in terms of just being an acquisition target, how do you, probably you've already done that, you've already built a business, you've created the systems and it's viable enough. How do you go about valuation? That's always the biggest,
Yes.
How have you gone it from your experience?
There are various methods, like some financial experts, like I guess Hilda would be better placed on a financial expert perspective to look at like discounted cash flows, what's the actual revenue, EBITDA and all that stuff. But we're also seeing that startups now are being just valued a lot based on like users acquired. So there's some metrics that we're seeing today, especially in fintech, that are quite interesting because I wouldn't call it perceived value, but it's you're acquiring value that can be built upon over a couple of years into something really mega. At this stage, we mainly raised capital to prove that we can scale, but it gets to another stage, which is Series A, where you have to, your valuation is tied to your actual numbers and your revenues, and that's why it's important to be able to execute and meet those numbers in order for your valuation to be real or to make sense.
I have Judy, who on Twitter just asked, which platforms can I raise capital from? So maybe I can throw it to Hilda, especially local capital. Where did you meet these local investors?
No, I think I always tell young people. I think the best place to start is who has done it. Go to those people who've done it, and they're there. Go to peers, founders, businesses that have done it, and ask them, how did you go about it? Because they are your best first start. Just leveraging the peer network effect. And like I have a lot of people who reach out to me via my social media and say, hey, can you connect me to so and so, and I am able to do that. So I think that's the first place to start. Going to those people who've done it. Just find them. They're there online, and in LinkedIn or whatever it is. I think the other place to raise capital would be also leveraging, especially if you're starting up, crowdfunding platforms. There's quite a lot that work. I think we've tried some of them. There's VC for Africa. There's I think it's called Uprise Africa, and a couple others. If you just put on Google crowdfunding platforms, you'll get them. So I just think also like being at the right place at the right time, in the right networking opportunities, which are happening now. The vibrant tech community. Kenya is one of the top tech hubs. So already imagine the conversations happening beyond this one right now as we speak. It's many of them. So you just need to really be curious as a young person, identify those opportunities, be there, and show up. Just show up, and you will realize all these things are happening. Serendipity is everywhere.
Maybe just Tesh, from your experience being at this and having successful fundraise and running a successful tech startup in different countries, maybe from your experience, what are some of the words of advice you can actually share to our audience watching this?
Yeah, so I'll emphasize on building or making something people want. So really focusing on the problem that you'd like to solve rather than the solution or the product, because those come after. Second is finding like-minded people, entrepreneurs, founders, who you can walk the journey with, because it's sometimes a very lonely journey and it gets really tough. The less than 1% of people who are able to fundraise, it looks like it's a dream, and it looks very rosy, like as we have this conversation, but the work behind the scenes is very hard. There's sleepless nights, there's times that you feel like giving up. So just finding a community of people that encourage you along the journey is super important. And then lastly is resilience, in the sense that fundraising, for example, is not something that happens overnight. For us, for example, the first round of funding took us over 100 conversations. We spoke to over 70 investors, and only about 5 ended up investing.
Maybe Hilda, in close?
Also to echo what Tesha said, I think people underestimate the process, and it is quite a lot of hard work, consistency, and resilience behind the scenes. In the end, of course, the silver lining, everyone wants to celebrate it. Yes. For any young person out there who really wants to come into entrepreneurship, this is the right time, of course, but you can never forget that there's going to be work to be put in. The current world presents opportunities for everyone, whether you're a man or a woman, and it doesn't matter. Young or old, it doesn't matter. And so, it's really important that, young people, we stop having excuses about, this thing is hard, entrepreneurship is hard, I can't do it. In the end, it's really for you to come out, claim your space, and own it.
But on that particular note, I'm going to close the show at this particular point. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been The Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their businesses.